it's Courtney Williams, and welcome to my blog. Happy New Year for me and baby Williams. You guys, I am 8 months pregnant, so I'm only a few weeks away from giving birth to my third daughter. I'm so grateful and so excited, but bear with me if I'm a little short of breath. I really was slacking in the end part of 2018 with recording content for my YouTube channel. Y'all, I've been so tired. I have two other kids, one who's a toddler, but one of my 2019 New Year's resolutions was to record more content for my YouTube channel. So I wanted to make a point to record some videos before giving birth, because those few weeks after giving birth, we all know the newborn struggle is so real. So bear with me. I also have mommy/pregnancy brain, which just means you forget your train of thought or whatever it is. So I have some notes here, so bear with me if I'm looking down at my notes as well. But I thought that a great topic for my first video of the new year would be why we should all stop comparing ourselves to others in 2019, guys. It's a topic that I'm so passionate about because it's something that I've struggled with, especially being a blogger and having to be heavily involved in social media. And it's just something I know this generation struggles with, and people that I know, friends and colleagues, struggle with as well. So with that being said, let's hop right in. You guys, studies show that this generation is one of the most depressed generations that there has ever been. And I'm sure it comes as no surprise that one of the leading causes of that is social media. Because with social media comes extreme comparison, which leads to depression. It's just like a downward spiral. And it doesn't matter who you are, what you have, anybody would be depressed if all they're doing is on their phone or on their laptops, or even in real life, if all you're doing is comparing yourself to other people day in and day out, anyone would be depressed. You guys would be so surprised and so shocked at some of the comments that I get on my blogs or that I get on my social media from people perceiving my life to be one way, although I feel like I'm very genuine, I'm very transparent, I'm very open. But yet, due to comparison, people still compare their lives to my lives, and I get comments like, oh, you know, your life is so perfect, and I get very hateful comments that stem from jealousy, but at the end of the day, jealousy comes from comparison. And so those comments at the end of the day break my heart because I know they stem from hurt, and that hurt all boils back to comparison. So that's why we have to stop doing this, guys. And so I want to give you 3 reasons why we should stop comparing ourselves to others. The first reason is, guys, you have to know that everything that you see on social media is not real. It's not reality. This isn't, factual numbers or anything, but I would probably have to say that 50%, if not over 50%, of the things that you see on social media is not reality. We have the opportunity or the option or whatever it is to portray whatever it is we want to portray on the internet. You may be comparing your marriage to this perfect marriage on social media, not knowing that behind closed doors it's extremely toxic, or they're 2 days away from calling a lawyer. I mean, you just never know. Or you're comparing your photos and how you look to these perfect pictures on Instagram, not knowing that they've been photoshopped or that they have a gazillion and one filters on the photos to get them to look the way that they look. And so that's one reason why we have to stop comparing ourselves to others, because here you are depressed and jealous over something that's not even a reality, guys. So that's the first reason. Reason number 2 is even if it is real, because I'm not saying that everything you see on social media is fake. For instance, the message that I put out there isn't fake, and I follow a bunch of people that I know in real life, and I know the message that they're trying to convey is very genuine and authentic and real. But even with that, social media is just a highlight reel, meaning that people have the option to just post the highlights in their life, to post the highs, but not necessarily the lows. So you're comparing everything in your life to other people's highs and highlights. You know, I'm not running the social media when me and my husband are in an argument or when my kids are driving me completely up the wall. Does that mean that those things never happen? No. It's just that social media is not the first thing on my mind when those things do happen. So I'm not posting that stuff. I'm posting my highlights. And so you cannot become jealous and envious over people's highs, because we all go through things. We all know that there's no such thing as perfect. There's no perfect life. There's no perfect marriage. There's no perfect kids. There's no perfect career. Whatever it is, they all come with highs and lows. But social media gives us the option to mainly only post our highs. So that's reason number 2 why you should stop comparing yourself to others. And the last reason, the third reason is, at the end of the day, and this is the most important reason, we all have a specific purpose, a God-given purpose and calling on our lives that no one else has. No other person on this earth has been called to do what you have been called to do. And that purpose was created way back when we were in our mother's wombs, you guys. And that alone should give you some type of peace and contentment. You can't be focused on what God has called you to do if you're focused on what everybody else is doing and comparing yourself to everybody else. Let's just think about a literal race, because at the end of the day, we're all running our own race. We all have to stay in our own lane. And in a literal race, you have to look forward. The only thing you can be focused on is the finish line. That is your end goal. That is the one thing that you are focused on, is that finish line. If you're looking to the left and looking to the right and wonder what the other runners are doing, then you're not going to win. Chances are that you're not going to come in first place, or you're not going to accomplish the goal that you were set out to accomplish. And so we have to apply that to our real lives. We're running our own race. You can't be looking to the left and looking to the right and worried about what everybody else is doing. You know, let's use this other example. Me and my husband were homeowners. We were able to build our first home together from ground up. That was one of the first things we were able to do as a married couple. And it was a huge accomplishment for us, you guys. That's one of the proudest moments that we've accomplished together, is when we signed at the dotted line and we closed on our first home together. And even 3 years later, we make 3 years in our home in April. 3 years later, I still love my house. I'm still so grateful to pull up to my house, knowing that it's our own and we own it. But do you think there's homes or neighborhoods in Houston that we can drive through that can make us feel inadequate or make our house look like a shack? You better believe it. I mean, there's neighborhoods with millions and millions of dollar homes. But at the same time, do you think there's neighborhoods that we could drive through that make our house look like a mansion? Yes. So there's always going to be things out there that appear better, but at the same time, it could always be worse. And for that very reason is why we should always be content, and we should always be grateful and thankful for our portion. Because when you take your eyes off of your portion and you start looking at others, that's when the jealousy, or you start feeling inadequate, or like you don't have enough, or you're not doing enough. That's when all of that comes in. But when you keep your eyes on you and what God has blessed you with and what God has called you to do, then you don't leave room for that in your life. And so that's why it's really important, guys, that we stop this in 2019. I mean, every time you turn on the television, it's something about mental illness or suicide and a lot of that is really affecting the younger generation too. It's starting younger and younger because people are getting on social media in middle school and high school and comparing themselves to others. And the devil has had a field day with this generation and social media. He really has. And we have to fight back, you guys. I'm so passionate about us fighting back against this. And one of the things that can help us fight back against that is knowing where your true source of peace and joy and contentment and gratefulness comes from. And that is our Savior, Jesus Christ. And knowing what he has called you to do, spending time with him, spending time in prayer, spending time in your word, figuring out for sure what he has called you to do. Once you know what he's called you to do, then honey, you don't have time to be sitting back comparing yourself to other people. You have work to do. You have work for the kingdom to do. And it takes all of us to do what we have been called to do to bring God glory, guys. And so I just want you to know that every single one of you has a God-given purpose. You matter no matter what it is. I mean, we all have a purpose. And I just love you guys. I'm always praying for you guys. You're special. Stop comparing yourself to others. And you know, I've dealt with this myself, especially being a blogger. I mean, blogging is so saturated. There's hundreds and thousands of bloggers these days, and it would be so easy to sit back and look at what this blogger's doing and look at what that blogger's doing, and you know, this blogger's getting all these deals or has all these sponsorships, and I would drive myself crazy thinking about all that and comparing myself to everybody else. But I know that God has given me a specific testimony that I'm supposed to put out there to help certain and specific people in this world and in this lifetime. And so that alone just brings me contentment. And I can feel it in my spirit. Like my spirit gets heavy when I start, you know, when I'm on social media too much and I'm just scrolling all day, hours. Like I have to tell myself, like, Courtney, girlfriend, put down the phone, back away, you know, open up your Bible, devote yourself to your purpose and something that matters, and not just scrolling on social media and online all day. And so some of you guys need to put the phone down, close the laptops, put the iPads down, and back away. Whether you need to take a break from it or fast from it or unfollow people that make you feel inadequate or unworthy, then do that. If that's what it takes for you to stop comparing yourself to others. And I can literally feel it in my spirit when I take a break from it. Like I feel refreshed, I feel lighter. I feel like that stuff just doesn't matter, and I'm focused on, you know, things that matter and things that are important in this life. So I hope this helps you guys some. Like I said, I plan on recording a lot more in 2019, so hold me accountable. If it's been a little while since you've seen a video, you know, feel free to say, hey Courtney, we haven't seen a video from you in a while. I'm gonna try and get some more out before I drop this load, but pray for me. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And always like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share this with anyone that you know who's struggling with comparison. So thanks again for tuning in today. Love you guys. Bye.